Hey everybody, Norm from Tested here at Wonderfest in the amazing contest room where I've met Russ Laarman. Russ.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Now you told me it's your first year here at Wonderfest.
It is my first year, yeah.
And for first year, you brought 6 incredible models.
Thank you, yeah. So actually 6 is what I was able to bring. I have a few more at home still. Yeah, I wasn't able to bring them all. We did bring one, but it was missing a piece, so that'll come in next year. This is actually, in the scheme of things, the 6th. This is my very first one. And these kind of follow a storyline with my videos that I make. So there's actually, in my story, there's around Proxima Centauri, there's a planet that we discovered, like a gas that could be possible life. So that coincided with new technologies that were created for this ship of like a warp drive technology, anti-gravity, that kind of thing. So this was the first research vessel that was created in that series, and it's in scale. So yeah, that was the first one that I created in that series.
And these are all scratch build models.
They are scratch build.
You're piecing them together. I mean, they're roughly the same size, but they're different scales.
Correct.
As you're saying.
Yeah.
Walk me through, if this was the first one you made, these are all within the span of a year.
Correct.
So 1 year.
1 year.
6 plus. There's
6
more that you
plus,
don't even have here.
Yeah.
When you started this over like about 1 year ago, tell me about the process.
So all these started out as I'll say a very rough sketch.
Yeah, of course.
So then, like, I think I've seen one of the videos with Adam Savage talking about, they kind of take on their own life and they kind of talk to you.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with these. This one started with a rough sketch, and as I was building it, it kind of talked to me about how I wanted to build the process and make it flow. So that, that's all sheet styrene. It does have a core that allows me to like mount from the bottom. So yeah, it's all sheet styrene, miscellaneous greeblies on here. Like this round piece right here is actually the top from a spice shaker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I thought there's a lot of found parts.
Yep.
Like on the back of it, I call this a warp exhaust because in my story, there's so much, like, the technology is so new for this story that they don't know what to do with a lot of the stuff. So when the warp drive is engaged, there's so much extra energy, they don't know what to do with it. So it spews out extra, like, energy out of the warp exhaust. And this right here is actually a fruit cup container that I made a warp exhaust out of.
Well, what I love about it is, there's a form I can see, and you have some symmetry here, but there's a lot of great asymmetry that just feels like you were just putting things that make sense, whether it's vents, exhaust. I love the tubing that you have here. It's so intricate, and there's a logic of like, where does it feed into your exhaust? And
that's a good point. One of the things I wanted to do when I was building this, I wanted to think, okay, this is a research vessel. What kind of things would I have on it? There's a lot of sensors on here. Yeah. And all these windows on the side, those are actually for like laboratories. And so those are all on the side so they can look out if they got to like do like research on whatever planets, whatever they're passing by. This one doesn't have, well, it has the bridge, but it doesn't have any like viewable windows or anything yet. This is very much my first one. I was doing a lot of learning as I went with this one. So that, was super, super cool. I was really excited to get that one done.
And how many weeks did this take you?
That one, weeks, I would say this is about 50 hours.
Okay.
So 50 hours on that one.
And then once you finish this one, you wanted to start different sketch, a different form.
I did, and with my storyline, because they went to this planet, they discovered there was a satellite orbiting around the moon, and it was a very ancient alien satellite, and that was this one right here.
Oh, so completely different aesthetic, not from human civilization.
Correct. Yeah.
You want to have things that can still fit in the world, but be. You have a more cylindrical form.
Right, and that's this little astronaut. I'll say he's one of the crew of the Pathfinder, like checking it out.
Yeah, and different scaling as well. Then
different scale.
Yeah, so you use the astronaut for that scale.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I wanted to make sure people could kind of see what scale is this, and I like these tubes inside here. Those are actually those fluted roller tubes from the inside of a dog bag. The poopy bags, I guess you could say.
Does your process? Do you collect the parts? Do you have a bin of parts where you're like, this could go on a ship, this could go on a ship, or as you're building it, are you then looking around and trying to find the thing?
I would say both.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of bins of parts that we found.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, that would look great on a ship.
Right.
And this Pathfinder one, there's kind of like fluted shapes in there. When I was walking our dog, I saw this plate floating around outside in the wind. I'm like, that's crap. Taking that before it gets away. Yeah.
It'll find its way into a model.
I had to wash whatever food stuff was out there, but I put it on there. Yeah.
Waste not.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, are those switches? right here?
These actually are brass, like little, honestly, I don't know what they were. I got this from my father-in-law.
Okay.
He gave me a bag of stuff, and they're just little brass things. I thought, okay, those will look great on there.
They look great.
So these are a blend of pure scratch build. Like this one is almost all scratch build with like model bits. This one is where I started to incorporate some resin 3D printing. So I designed this piece, a couple of pieces in Tinkercad.
Yeah.
And I stuck those, started doing that, and then I started going that direction.
I can tell. I do the exact same thing of like, let me combine some cones and cylinders.
Yeah,
and then it has the faceting here, exactly, and then export it, and gives you again a core to then do your fun stuff on. Yeah. Okay, so you move from an alien vessel, you go back to your
one right here.
Okay.
So they found that, and so in my story, they this is a random alien species that was like coming to investigate why this ship is like messing around with a satellite.
Yeah.
And so that's the first time this crew actually finds that there's other aliens floating around, other than evidence of an alien satellite, but they actually meet these aliens right here. And this is another scratch build. There's some miscellaneous parts in here, but there are also some pieces I digitally kit bashed in Tinkercad. Like these guns right here, I digitally kit bashed those, printed them out with my resin printer. And this actually has a hatch that opens up so I can flick the light switch on and off for the engine. So that was my first, that one was my first electronics for lighting. And this one is my second for the engines.
I can see the progression. It's so rare that we get to see like the process and your progression of what you're learning. Yeah. You go from this electronics, and I can see more electronics, way more complex forms here. I love the look of this ship.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Tell me about this one.
So this, I call this a space-based dry dock.
Okay.
So when they found out the satellite was actually a communication satellite, they were able to bounce signals off from there. So they thought, okay, if this ship goes out in space and it breaks down, how are they going to, if they're a few light years away, they're going to be stuck out there without any help. So now they're able to actually call it space-based dry dock, which I named after my dad because he was a mechanic.
Nice.
So I thought that's perfect. So this actually can fly out, and it has little lever arms underneath here that can actually,
articulate?
They're glued in place.
Okay.
Yeah. I would totally break them if they weren't. But in the story, they can come out and grab a hold of the sides. Yeah. And there's inside the shuttle bay, there's actually little repair shuttles that would come out and do repairs.
Interior is that? Yeah. You have interior for the bridge?
The bridge has an interior and the shuttle bay and the engines on that one. So that was.
There's more truss work on this one, I can see. Yeah.
Yep. So that was next in line, and this one was a colony transport ship. And this was actually, in the storyline, this was just about finished construction, about the same time all these new technologies came into play. So this only has pure ion engines, no warp drives, and it has lots of xenon tanks around the outside to power the ion engines, or to give gas to the ion engines. And this is a 1 3/50th scale, so I could actually make a much larger ship down to a smaller size.
You're modeling and repeating, so you can have things like the tanks and the engines.
Correct.
Which makes a lot of sense for this size.
A lot of redundancy.
Yeah, and I see your mixture of paneling and drawn panel lines.
Yeah, the panel lines are actually textured. I tried a technique on my Cameo Silhouette where I just laid out like an Aztec type pattern. I just let it go through and do all the scoring on that. And then I laid down panels and I kind of filled in some of those with...
there's dimensionality, I see.
Yeah, the weathering.
So it's actually like that's a scored line with a blade.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Wow. You're making all use of, and it's still a very tangible process, even though you're designing it digitally. You're going for that tactile feel.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that was, in the order, that was the next one. Then it was this one right here. This is the cargo ship. Now you can see all the cargo containers on there, and I figured if they're going to go out and colonize other planets, they would need a way to bring all the materials, things like that. Or if you're moving all your stuff, you're going to need a way to get it there, kind of like a pods or whatever it is right now. And so I created this one, and there's internal cargo space. You can actually
that's a massive. There's racks of
there's racks of goods in there.
Racks, and then there's boxes. There's oh my gosh, wow. I love that in here. It's not just a wall. You put something in the middle so you can have parallax as your hand looks around.
That's what I want to do. I want to have a way so you're like, what's around the corner?
You're imagining the space beyond.
And honestly, there's nothing around the corner, but we don't know that because nobody can see.
Yes.
The bridge also lights up. my son-in-law loves Dr. Pepper, so we pretend, my wife and I pretend like, you know, all of our family are crews on here or something. So I had to get a way to like have him be on the cruise. So he likes Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
So actually, if you look in the bridge, you can actually see a Dr. Pepper vending machine that's in the back corner. So I had to do that. But yeah, these are all, most of this is scratch built, and a lot of the drop or the cargo containers are 3D printed. That I, you know,
things that you need to repeat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
These
I
are
love these little ships.
Yeah, they're little drop ships I can pick up and bring the cargo
Oh.
containers places.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the kind of the world right now. I got a lot of things lined up for the world building.
Russ, I mean, the aesthetic, I love that's unique to yourself. Obviously, you're a fan of science fiction.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Battlestar Galactica, you're telling me things are inspired by the shapes of Galactica. But it's so rare to see the journey, a maker's journey through 1 year. And really, it's about iteration.
Right.
Right? It's like when you finish one, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to learn so much. And I can absolutely see from the very first model to the last one, how you've grown as a model maker.
Thank you. Yeah,
so impressive.
It was a great journey. I mean, it's not done for sure.
Absolutely. So how many more models next year?
Oh,
I don't want to commit you, but you can't stop building.
I can't stop building. I mean, I love making the videos of them, showing them.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I'll try to get at least one every month and a half or so. So.
Oh my gosh.
Some will be smaller, some will be bigger.
Well, we'll really look forward to hopefully you come back to Wonderfest.
Absolutely.
And bring your new models back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Russ.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching that video. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you we have some excellent merch. We have a 5-pack of demerit badges for sale right now at tested/store.com. We've got the I hung it off of level demerit badge, the I built the chair backwards demerit badge, the I hit my thumb with a hammer demerit badge. We've got the stapler in my finger demerit badge, and my favorite, I stuck the duct tape to itself demerit badge. Get yours now, tested/store.store. Tested-store. Tested. It's right here. There. Just click there.